I want to welcome you back to our podcast. We're studying in the book of 2 Corinthians, and we're in 2 Corinthians, the 11th chapter, starting with verse 11. Why did the Apostle Paul become a tent maker? Why did he say, you know what? When the offering came down from Macedonia, I went back to preaching the gospel. Why did he do these things? Well, verse number 11 gives us the reason. It says, why? Because I do not love you? God knows I do. Why did Paul do those things? Why was he so different than all the other people that were there in Corinth that were making money, often their teaching, often their wisdom? Why was he so different? He was different because he loved them. We talked, I believe it was last week, maybe the week before that, about the jealousy that the Apostle Paul had for the people at Corinth. And that was a godly jealousy. That was a godly desire that was placed in him. And you know what? That desire, that jealousy, that love for other people is a sign whether a person should be in leadership or not. Do you love them, or are you just trying to make a dollar? Do you love them? And that's why you speak to them very simply. Not as a great orator, but you speak to them very simply. Why do you do that? Because you love the people. And so the Apostle Paul tells the Corinthians, he said, you know what? I did all of this stuff, and this is the reason I love you. I am giving myself to you. I am giving myself to you without charge. Do you understand the strength of what the Apostle Paul is saying to the Corinthians? I love you. I love you. And that's why I've sacrificed. That's why I've been ridiculed. I love you. Going on now to verse number 12. Again, 2 Corinthians, the 11th chapter, verse number 12. But what I am doing, I will continue to do. What's Paul saying? He's saying, I'm not casting you away. I'm going to continue to love you. I'm going to continue to love you. I'm going to continue not to charge you for preaching the gospel. I am going to continue. Now, keep in mind again that the Corinthians were probably the richest church at that time. They were in one of the richest cities in the known world. They had a tremendous amount of wealth. And Paul said, you know what? I am going to continue to love you without anything in return. By the way, the offering that the Apostle Paul is taking is not for himself. The offering that he's taking from the Corinthians is for the saints in Jerusalem. So he says, but what I am doing, I will continue to do, so that I may cut off the opportunity of those who desire an opportunity to be regarded just as we are in the matter about which they are boasting. What's Paul talking about? He's saying, you know what? I'm in my love for you, in how I act around you. The one thing that I'm doing is I'm cutting off the opportunity. You see, we need to understand that when leadership stops loving the people, you know what happens? It gives the people, or it gives false teachers an opportunity to step in and mislead the people. You say, Leon, what are you talking about? I'm saying that the love of leadership, or the love from leadership, covers and protects the people. The love of a pastor, of a shepherd, protects the people from the wolf. The love of a true apostle or true prophet, a true teacher, a true evangelist, the love of those people in leadership protects the people from the people that are trying to mislead them. It takes away their opportunity. That's what Paul is saying. And he says, that I may cut off the opportunity from those who desire an opportunity, who are looking for a reason. How many of you know that there are false teachers out there always looking for a reason, always looking for an open door, always looking for an opportunity to step in and deceive you? And he says, who desire an opportunity to be regarded just as we are. What is he talking about? To be regarded as an apostle, as a person there who has authority. They are always looking for a doorway in to take a place of leadership in your life. And then he goes on, as we are in the matter about which they are boasting. You see, there are people that were calling themselves false apostles, or calling themselves apostles. Notice what he says now in verse number 13. For such men are false apostles. And the Apostle Paul begins to describe a false apostle. Now, by the way, a false apostle is a person who is not sent out. The word apostle means a person who is sent out. And there are people that have not been sent out, but they just show up. And they show up and they want to take the place of a real apostle. And what do? They are doing it to mislead you. They're doing it to make money. Now notice how Paul describes them. They are deceitful workers. These men are there and they are deceiving you. They work and labor at deceiving you. They think about, how can I get into this bunch? And how can I find an opportunity to get in, to mislead them from the simplicity of the gospel, from the purity of the gospel? How can I get in and work inside of them? When he says that these men, that they are deceitful workers, they're at work. Oh yeah, they're at work to deceive you. They are looking for opportunities to deceive you. And then he goes on and he says, and they're disguising themselves as apostles of Christ. What are they doing? They're putting on a disguise. They're putting on something that's meant, that has the purpose of deceiving you, that has the purpose of leading you astray. And notice what he says. He says, these false people, they are doing this. And then in verse number 14, very quickly, no wonder. In other words, this is not something that we should be amazed at. Even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. We shouldn't be not alarmed, but we shouldn't be amazed at this fact that these people are actually trying to get into our lives. They're looking for opportunities to get into our lives so that they can deceive us, so that they can mislead us from the simplicity of the gospel. This is a warning the Apostle Paul gave to the Corinthians. It's a warning that's still good for us today. Please heed the warning of the Apostle Paul. Join us again next week as we continue our study in the book of 2 Corinthians.